Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Pijo Show. I kind of feel like today is the first day of the Pijo Show, and I'll tell you why. But first of all, I just have to say thank you guys for being here. And thank you. This is episode number 11. And my podcast team had told me that once you get to 12, like that's an achievement. Getting 12 episodes in of anything is a achievement. And so here's number 11. And next week will be number 12. But I've got to be really honest and I have to honor what's happening right here, right now. And I have to speak this out. I am scared as shit to be here today. I mean, I am scared as shit to be here today because today is a real discussion. Today, we are getting in it. We are setting in it today. And I fiddled with my shirt a whole bunch and I made sure my collar looked right, which it still doesn't, but that's all right. I put on way too much makeup. I didn't do my hair. Like, who knows what's going to happen? Y'all, I got tissues sitting right here beside me. Whew. I mean, it is a big day today. So I'm going to grab some of my crystals here. I've got my citrine, which is a power stone, and I've got my rose quartz, which is a loving stone. And I love crystals. I have them all over my house. I use them daily in my practice. And today I'm using them again to be here with you because I feel like I have a confession to make. And I bet we all feel like this at times. So I have I've been playing small. I've been playing small in my life. And I have been playing small at the Pijo show. Mm-hmm. It's true. I've been playing small at it. I haven't really allowed myself to believe that I have a podcast. Yeah, I'm going to move that right there. Yeah. Um, and so I've been going at it half-assed, right? Like, let me tell you what happened yesterday. Well, first of all, let me go back. So, as we know, my husband was home with us for 19 days. He was doing this training. And look, none of this is his fault, right? The training, him being in my space, that wasn't his fault. And that's not the issue. So I just kind of want to get that straight. But he was home with us for all of March. And he needed a space where he could be private. And that was my office where we wouldn't disturb him and he wouldn't disturb us. And the only place we have like that in this house is my office. So he came in to my office and he made it his for that time. And that's fine. Like I graciously gave that to him. And because of that, I got a bank of recordings in so that I wouldn't have to record while he was in my space. Like I could just back away from that. So I didn't record for 19 days. Like I looked yesterday and the last day I recorded was March 4th. And so honestly, it was 19 days that I had not recorded. And I also allowed myself not to even work on it. Like I was like, okay, I'll get back to that. I pushed pause on the Pijo show. And here's the truth. I push pause on my life a lot. When it's convenient or when it's not convenient. But really, one of the reasons why I push pause then is because, just because I was afraid to draw some boundaries. I was afraid to, not stand up for myself, but to claim space. because let's be honest, the energy in my office is so different than the energy outside of my house. This is a space that I'm creating. So it is it is a very loving and sparkly place in here. So when he's in here working, that it changes the energy in here. So instead of working to maintain like this sparkly energy, I just backed out. I took my stuff out and I just kind of started meandering around the house again. And because of that meandering, I really meandered through everything those 19 days. I pushed pause on everything. And that is a pattern that I've had my whole life, this pushing pause and this playing small. And I'm just loving on myself and really honoring that. Um, because that is what I'm unbinding. You know, that is what I'm unbinding. I did this beautiful ritual, this chanting last night. I'm getting into chanting, and I I follow this woman named Rebecca Campbell, and she's written 2 books that I've read and reread since the first of the year. Like I've devoured her books, and I've joined her memberships and all this stuff. And I did this practice of unbinding last night. And it is important that we unbind ourselves from these past behaviors. And so I did that last night, and I was in my space and in my room, and it was almost like a reclaiming of my space, a reclaiming of my mission, a reclaiming of my purpose. And so that's where I'm at today. I'm completely open and I'm completely raw and I'm completely exposed, and I'm letting y'all see that. And that's some pretty scary shit. Not gonna lie, pretty scary shit. And so that's what we're talking about on the Pijo show today. We're talking about taking our fingers off of the pause button and committing to playing big, playing all out. Like, what is it that you're afraid of? And I'm going to tell you what I'm afraid of. But one of the things that I believe we all are afraid of is our own greatness. We, especially as women, we are taught that we're not supposed to be big. We're not supposed to be sparkly. Women who are assertive are known as bitches. We put all of these negative connotations and all these negative labels on women who are playing all out. And so we have been programmed for generations that we are supposed to be small. We are supposed to be submissive. We are supposed to be building others up. We are martyrs. We are self-sacrificing to the causes of others. And that is not true. That is so not true. We are the divine feminine, and we are rising. So we are meant to be big. We are meant to be big. We are meant to feel big. Not just like feel like, oh, I'm feeling like I'm big. No, we are supposed to feel everything bigly. I know that's not a real word. Love me through it. Like, we are supposed to feel big. That is our power. Feeling everything that we are supposed to feel without shame, without abandon. Like, do I feel like shit today? I feel like shit today. Am I scared? Absolutely. I'm scared. Why am I scared? I'm scared of being too big. I'm scared of being too great. Truth be told, I've never really felt like I'm great. You know, there's something I'm unbinding these deep seated places of self-doubt. We all have that. We all have something in us that tells us we're not worthy of something, and it's usually our biggest dream. And our biggest dreams are our life's purpose. The things that light us up the most scare us the most. It's true. It's true. I can't even begin to tell you how scared I was to sit down today to tell you all this. And so, you can pep talk yourself, and that's great. And I did. And I'm sitting here, and I know that it is healing to be here in this space to show you what I'm going through. Yeah. Yeah. So thank you for loving me through that. I was writing through this in my journal last night, and I wrote, I'm living small. My fear of greatness is preventing my actions. Awaken to your power to make an impact. Think about that. Think about the impact that you can make in the world. It's really easy to look at what's going on in the world right now and think it's so fucked up. I can't do anything. What impact am I going to have? And trust me, I've felt that. I've felt that plenty of times. I've had to walk through that every time I've sat here in front of you with this microphone in front of me. I've had to walk through that. What type of impact am I going to make? How can I change that? I'm not trying to change that. I'm trying to change this inside of me. And by changing this inside of me, I will have an impact on that. We also wrote down this question: do your inward desires match your outward actions? And they don't. They don't. My inward desires are to create a loving community of empowered women empowering each other, of loving themselves and each other through all the shit that we go through. But I'm playing small at that. I'm playing part-time. I'm taking 2 weeks. I'm taking 19 days off because someone's in my space. Because I'm not used to asserting myself. I'm not used to claiming my space. I'm not accustomed to clearing out an energetic space just so I can have it for a couple of hours. These are new ways of being for me. And so I reverted back to old patterning because that's where I'm comfortable right now. And that's okay. This is a new way of being for me. And I have to look at when I fall back into those patterns, why am I there? And I have to use that as a tool to help build me up to where I want to be, because that is where I will function in that space. That I refuse to not be there. So when I find myself not there, which you do and you will, it's a practice. When I find myself back in those old patterns, it's time to love myself through them and elevate myself and empower myself to the place that I'm supposed to be living. That's what we're supposed to do. And sometimes that means you got to have some hard discussions with yourself and you got to look at what's happening back there, right? I found this quote by Nelson Mandela. It says, "There is no passion to be found playing small in settling for a life that is less than the one that you are capable of living." That's what I was doing. I was settling for a life that is less than what I am capable of because I'm afraid. I'm scared to death of this podcast. I'm scared to death to be a presence in social media. That scares the life out of me. I do not like social media. Social media is this pitfall of negativity and inauthenticity and fakeness. And that I don't do that. I refuse to do that. So here I am using social media as a platform for my voice, for my message, for my purpose. That scares me to death. I don't know how to be in there. So I haven't been going in there. Oh, no, that's inaccurate. I've been going in there to see what other people are doing. Don't you worry about that. I've been going in there to see what other people are doing, to try to figure out what I'm supposed to do, right? Like I'm in my head on it. Let me just pop in there and see what this person's doing or that person's doing. Or let me just see. Let me just go and see. And so in my going in to just see, I get bombarded with all of this messaging of I'm not enough, of that I need to be on a diet, of that if, my clothes need to be better or that, all of this messaging. And a lot of it is from, it's all the algorithms, right? So it's all the stuff that I look at. So it's all geared specifically towards me. So you better believe that there's mindfulness practices in there. You better believe. So it's all of these things that are supposed to help me. And I'm using air quotes, help me. But what it does is it helps perpetuate the cycle of shame that I'm in. Maybe I'm not meditating enough. Maybe I'm not meditating correctly. Huh. Maybe if I bought this program or if I signed up for this, or maybe if I did this 21-day detox, then holy shit, guys. It is like total bombardment. And what's scary about it is when we go into social media, a lot of times, we're bored, we're numb, like whatever, right? Sometimes we want to see what our friends are doing. I have a friend and she's a military spouse and she's in Brussels. Well, she's in Belgium and she puts up the most thought provoking things and engages in conversation. And I love her and I love connecting with her. And I would not be able to connect with her outside of social media. And so when I'm on there connecting with people, when I'm seeing what your kids are doing or seeing your vacations, or I love to see what you're doing. I love to see your life. And yes, I know that it is the life that you're choosing to present. I get that. I get that. I'm also in those moments, I'm also getting bombarded with this messaging of I'm not enough. I'm getting bombarded with the messaging that there are people out there that are doing it better than I am. And so I'm struggling with being in social media. I'm struggling with putting myself in that arena. And so I haven't. I've played small at it. I haven't spoken my fears out loud to it. I've spoken my fears. I've talked to the people in my energy circle about like, oh my God, what the fuck is all this about? How do we do this? There's got to be a different way. There has to be a different way of doing it. But I don't know what that is. Thank you guys for this one. Do you feel like a therapist? Lord help us. I'm cursing like a storm. It's like I'm an old salty sailor that came and sat down here in front of you today. Thank you for loving me through this. So this is what we're doing. Friends, we're committing today. We're not playing small. Not today. We're done with that. We are here in this time for a reason. And don't think this wasn't the pep talk I was giving myself when I was fiddling around with my collar. We are here in this time for a reason. We are not meant to be small. So here's what we're going to do. I've been playing around with this idea, but I've been afraid of unleashing it to the world. We're going to be in social media. We're going to be in Facebook because that's a shit show. And we're shit shows, so it's applicable. We're going to be there, but we are going to do it differently. We're going to show up exactly as we are, where we are. I'm doing that right now. I'm letting you see. I've totally removed the curtain and I'm letting you see. I am not ashamed of where I'm at. I refuse to show up in this place with a mask on, which ironically is what happened yesterday. Yesterday, I came into this space and I sat down to record and I did all my stuff. I did all of my stuff. I meditated, I opened, I was channeling, I burned my sage, I got my crystals, I turned on my peppy music. And I sit down and I recorded an episode of the Pijo Show and it was fake as shit. I was going through the motions. Which ironically, I was still talking about social media and you know what we consume, right? I touched on that just a minute ago. When we are consuming all of the messages that is out there in the world of our unworthiness, of our not enoughness, we start to feel those. So that's what I was talking about yesterday. But I was talking about them on a soapbox. I climbed up on the soapbox and I 1, 2, 3 is the thing on. And I blasted it out into the world. But I did it with a mask on because I wasn't letting you see exactly how I was feeling about it. And I refused to tell you that I was playing small because of what I was seeing out there and what I was feeling out there and how that I had reverted back to patternings of self-doubt because I was playing small. Because what did I write down here? Let me flip back in my pages. Because my inward desires didn't match my outward actions. My fear of greatness was preventing my own actions. And so, as the universe does, that episode didn't record. And so I kind of stomped around the house a little bit and I was like, okay, I get it. I was too discombobulated. I was too this, I was too that. So I sit down and I recorded it again. And guess what? When I was trying to upload that one into my shared drive for my podcast people to put it together, it locked up and then it deleted itself. The universe said, no, Trish, no. Remember, Toots? Remember, my love? You said you were going to show up in this place without a mask on. You're going to show up in this place in authenticity. You are going to let people see you do that so that you can encourage them to do that. You're going to live in integrity to what you set out. And so the universe, they cock blocked me. They were like, no way. Nope. Mm-mm. Not today, Toots. Try that again. I didn't have time to try it again. And two, I was pissed off. Like I kind of stomped around the house a little bit, pissed off. But I had to do that to get to, wait a minute, what's going on? What's going on? And so you better believe yesterday I sat all day afterwards in practice, in self-examination, in trusting. I followed my intuition and I loved on myself for it. And I got refocused and I saw through all the bullshit that I was even telling myself, right? And I got here right now in this space. So that's what I want you to do. I want you to think about ways in your life that you are playing small. I want you to think about what you really want to be doing. And it could absolutely be exactly what you're doing. And that's fantastic. And if that's the case, I want you to think about, how can I do that bigger? How can I do that without abandonment? How can I do that sparklier? But if you're not doing that, if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, what lights you up, what brings you fire, why are you not doing that? What's holding you back from it? What are the fears? What is the self-doubt? What is it? What is it? And be honest with yourself and love yourself through that, right? Know that everyone feels that. It is not just you. Everyone feels that. I've been listening to this song. It's called Greatest Enemy by the Strumbellas. I love the Strumbellas. If you've not listened to the Strumbellas, look them up today on Amazon and play them. They have the most high vibe music, and it's fun and it's folky and it's just really good music. And the coding and the messaging in it is phenomenal. Well, I've been listening to one on repeat. It's called Greatest Enemy. And it says some of the lyrics is, feeling like I can be anything I want to be, but I know I will always be my greatest enemy. That one hits hard, doesn't it? It's true. It's true. That's what playing small is. Playing small is being your biggest enemy. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh, my loves. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here and for loving me through this and for letting me just come to you in a safe space and letting me show you this shit. That's what I want. That's my whole intention for this podcast. Is to create a space where we can come together and be authentic, where we are accepted exactly as we are, where we are, where we can empower each other and where we can safely empower ourselves, because that's the other thing. If you're out there saying, I'm pretty great, sometimes people are like, quit tooting your own horn, girl. I want to go to a place, I want to create a space where you can toot your own horn and be received with cheers. That's what I want. That's what we're creating here. That's what we're creating here. That's right. And so, with that in mind, we are going to be rolling out a new community, a new private page on Facebook called the Sparkle Shit Show Sisterhood. That's going to be out after this podcast release, after this episode releases. And it's going to be a space where we can show up and be seen. And we can talk about the shit we're in. We can talk about the shit we waded through. We can talk about the greener pastures ahead. We can cheer for each other and we can cry together. We can do life together without masks. That's all I want. That's all I want. So, yes, are we going to do the social media thing differently? You bet we are. You bet we are. Do I think it'll change social media? No. It'll change a little bit of it. It'll change the little part in which we're in. So that when we're getting bombarded with all the messages of we are not enough, you can pop on over to the Sparkle Shit Show Sisterhood and you can get affirmation that not only are you enough, you are divinely perfect. You are exactly where you are meant to be. Yep, there it is. I've been sitting on that for a while because I was afraid. I'm afraid of that being too big. I'm afraid of that taking up too much time. I'm afraid of people not wanting that as badly as I do. But here's the truth. I know that's not true. Empowered feminine energy tells me that trusting what is best for me is what is best for everyone. That's what empowered feminine energy is for you as well. What is best for you is best for everyone. I'm getting off track here, but I just wanted to tell you that. This is what else I want to tell you. We're done with playing small. We're done with that. No more. And when we find ourselves back in the patterns, we're going to remind ourselves that that's not where we are. That's not where we are. That serves us no purpose. And we're going to love ourselves back up into that place of the life that we're capable of living, the life that we are meant to be living. And we're going to help each other get there because we're supposed to help each other get there. We're supposed to do this together. Friends, I love you. I love you so much. I hope you feel that. I want to say thank you for letting me come into this space so raw and so authentic today and so exposed. I hope you join me over in the Sparkle Shit Show Sisterhood. I'll see you there. Have a wonderful day, friends. Go out there and be big. I love you. Bye.